Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is NFL Talks. It's the Ox and Fox show. Gentlemen, welcome back. This is heard on ESPN Richmond. I got the gentleman in the house. Really quickly, Ken Ox and Don. Let's get the background.
What's the deal? Ken Ox, Don, Thomas Dale Knights, Virginia Tech Hokies, Atlanta Falcons, current Vice President, NFL alumni.
Hold on a sec.
What you got? Tell me when you're ready.
Testing.
Right.
Testing.
Can you hear us?
Test.
I can hear you.
Alrighty, we are. All right. Don, you know what? Hold up a sec. I don't even want to do that. All right.
You got the Radio Raheem headphones on right now.
Yeah, you know, this for my grandkids. You know, hold up, they'll light up for you now.
Oh, you got the LA Gear joints on.
Yeah, I got the ones. I don't know whether it should work or not, but I know it do. All right, I ain't messing with you, man. Like, look, forget it. We starting over. One of my King Biz here with this is NFL Talks, the Ox and Fox show. Gentlemen, welcome back to the program.
Welcome. Good
All right,
to be
this is
back.
heard on ESPN Richmond 106.1. All right, so Ken Ox and Don, let people know who you are.
Ken Ox, Don, born and raised Chester, Thomas Dale Knights, Virginia Tech, Atlanta Falcons, current Vice President of NFL alumni.
Don't do it. Just keep going. Just keep going, Ken.
And current Vice President and President of Vox Sports Group. We're here to connect the dots in the community, help the kids grow and understand their destination.
All right, appreciate it, Mr. Fox.
Deion Fox, Meadowbrook Monarchs, James Madison Dukes, go Dukes. Also went to Miami right out of college, Miami Dolphins, Washington Redskins that are now the Washington Commanders. XFL at the end when it first started back in the year 2000. Now I am currently the president of the NFL Alumni Chapter here in Richmond, Virginia, also the president of the 5756 Foundation, along with being the founder of 5756 Foundation, where we too work with veterans, kids, and veterans' children as well to make sure that they have a brighter future. The children are our future, so we got to make sure that they have what they need to help lead us later on in life.
That's one of the reasons why I rock with these men doing some big things out here in the community. Really quickly, Deion Fox, you're always talking about business decisions, whether you're going across the middle, whether you're going to make that tackle, get stiff arm. Our man Lamar Jackson had one of them come to Jesus moments last week. Let's talk about what happens now. Does he play anymore the rest of this year and risk whatever?
I think he's going to play more this year. I don't think he's going to take the risk that he's been taking the first 11 weeks of the season. Anytime that you're out there, you take the chance of possibly getting injured because it's a physical sport. However, if he's out there and he's playing quarterback, instead of him trying to get the extra yard here or there, he may slide. He may run out of bounds, not take that extra hit. I mean, he's taken some big hits early in the season and was able to get up and it not affect him. But since he sprained his hip, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And that could be detrimental later on in his career.
All righty. Really quickly, let's go down through some quarterback controversies really quickly. Russell Wilson. What do you guys see there?
They got to stick it out with him. I was looking at something where, the bad thing with him is that he came into Denver with, I think, the franchise thinking, well, we did it with Peyton, now we can do it with him. And where all it needed was, there was, a quarterback. And now, he's not playing the part. So he's hoping these last couple of games, he can just show the franchise and show the fans that, look, I am here for you guys. And I am what I can be.
You thought he was, yeah.
Exactly. So,
but also this, Ken, he did not have the weapons that Peyton had either.
No, he does not
And also Denver does not have the defense that Peyton had when Peyton was there either.
at all.
So
At all.
that's two things.
And they got the Chiefs, they got Cardinals, the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. So yeah.
He might be going fishing real quick. All right, this is the Oxen Fox Show NFL Talks. Very quickly, we're gonna run down some big games this past weekend, and then they're gonna give us a snippet, some ideas for the upcoming games. All righty. As much as it pains me to say Ken Oxendine, are the Cowboys for real? Yeah, not that hurt. I mean, you don't know blood pressure when sugar when everything just to be able to say that. Are they for real?
That's the biggest thing. They played the Colts, who were playing teams tight, and then they put up 33 points in the fourth quarter. But they were all on turnovers, and Manny Ice was what he was. The ice started to melt in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's cold. That man, that's real cold.
And if you look over his course of his careers, the fourth quarter has always been his loss. And he had 3 turnovers, and the running backs had 7 turnovers in that game as well. But Cowboys always do this. They do well regular season. The quarterback go down, someone steps in, and you think about over the course of the years, and
then they do what they do.
Then the only difference with Dak is he gets to the second round and lose. So, they have to get to the playoffs and show you if they can continue to do what they do in the regular season.
Are they going to sign OBJ? And will that make a difference?
I think it's a whole lot of hype right now. Although he could probably help him out, but how long he's going to help him out? We saw last year, OBJ is a heck of an athlete. We all know this, but he didn't even finish the game he didn't finish the playoffs with the Rams last year. He got hurt, in the playoffs on a non-contact injury. It was a non-contact injury. He was making a move and blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. So, Buffalo. Does Buffalo have my man Andy Reid's number?
It could be the same thing as Cincy. Cincy has that number. Last week, Cincy pulled that off.
It's Cincinnati. I'm sorry. It was Joe Burrow in this.
Yeah, Cincy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so? They 3-0 against them right now.
Yeah.
And they don't care
Joe
where
Burrow
they
is
play.
3-0.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, home or away, they 3-0.
Yeah.
Mr. Fox, what is it about that right there that helps that they can do that? Because everybody else is looking at Mahomes as the magician, but they can beat them like that.
Well, let's look at it this way. It wasn't the players on the board, so to speak. Okay, it wasn't the pieces on the board, wasn't the players on the field. It was the people calling plays. Andy Reid got out coached.
Yes.
And I'm going, and that's the only thing that I can say, because that game was called. Like, the play calling was superb in that game.
Yeah.
As far as what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And then they didn't make mistakes, like with turnovers and penalties and things like that. They were minimized. So they were able to be productive against them. And then they held on long enough in the game to take advantage. They shut down Kelsey. Okay. They knew who they had to shut down. They shut him down. Kelsey turned the ball over. He was hot.
Yeah.
That's his first fumble loss this season.
Yeah.
He doesn't usually fumble. He fumbled. Gained 40 yards and fumbles. Turnovers killed Kansas City. Cincinnati took advantage.
And that's the end of the game.
And the game was called great by their coaches. They called it a great game.
There you go. On the mic, Mike Oxen Fox. This is NFL Talks. So I'm speaking for all the old men in the world, except for old men who hate Tom Brady because they live in Pittsburgh or Baltimore or somewhere like that. The rest of the world, Tom Brady did what Tom Brady has been doing.
Yes.
And when he got the ball, was there any question outside of the people who I've mentioned, the Steelers fans and the Ravens fans? Oh, we got to throw in there the Jets as well. Was there anybody who didn't think that was going to happen? I knew what time it was.
He's still magic. He's still who he is, and as unsettling and as as sometimes this year as he's seen, if the guys that he's playing with catch the ball and can't and they he's gonna, and you give him time, he's gonna wear you out.
He only has one receiver that he really trusts from last year. Okay.
Yeah.
He has two that retired. His tight end, and then Ken, help me out. The other one he brought over that was with him that was a slot receiver. Last year. Those two guys he had with him in Tampa when he first got there.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they didn't go to the Super Bowl last year, they still didn't have a problem getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
This has been his rockiest season, in the last 3 years. And including this year, in the last 3 years, this has been his rockiest season. And it's because he has had to get used to new guys in positions and learn them. Mm-hmm. And it clicked that night because I stayed up and I watched that game. And with less than 2 minutes, this guy did his thing. Like you said, you saw Tom Brady from the Patriots.
Yes,
okay.
I saw the Tom Brady who did my Eagles in. Mm-hmm. Yes, and everybody else.
I saw Tom Brady from the Patriots, and I mean, it was like, oh, there he is,
that guy.
And that was it was that guy, and it was nothing the other team could do.
That's true. All right, Ox.
Like Puffy tell him, I'm sorry, like Puffy tell him, take that, and that's exactly what Tom Brady said.
When they brought the play back, they were just like, well, he had normal people, everybody else, that would have been their shot. But now he go back and get it again.
Yeah. And do it again. Oh, you're gonna take that.
Take that. That's what I'm doing. That's right. I invented the remix. All right, Ox, what you got? Let's go down this week.
We got the Raiders and the Raiders at the Rams.
That is a Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr feeling himself. I mean,
that's going on right now.
Yes, he is to me Kirk Cousins' cousin. People don't want to give him credit.
They don't, and I keep on saying it week in and week out. When is him and Adams will get on the same page? And last week they did finally. But those are the things with him that and I think they're going to win this game. They're plus 6.5 points. But the Rams signed Baker Mayfield today or yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Mr. Fox, why are you shaking your head? You don't. I think he got game. But you're saying he got game does not matter.
That's not what we're questioning. Okay. That's not what we're pondering on it right now. Okay. We're pondering on the fact that you're bringing in a new quarterback.
Yep.
That wants to be a starter. That doesn't know the playbook. And sometimes can be
problematic.
A little on the wild side. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works in your favor, and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that time of the year where the Rams is not his team. He did that in Cleveland for a while. See where it got him. He went to Carolina. You see where it got him. And he's only been in Carolina this year. So hey, do I think that he can be successful in the league? Yes. Do I think he should stay in his lane right now? Yes. Go out there, do what they ask you to do, manage the game, and you'll be okay. Don't go out there and be Baker from Cleveland.
If you had, and you talked about the coaching, if you've had success, like I said, Baker Mayfield was a star before he comes to Cleveland. He had moments in Cleveland, but I mean, Cleveland is kind of like the Clippers. You know, you don't go there to thrive. It's not like, boy, I sure want to go to the Browns, or I really
Yeah.
want to go to the, maybe. What else is he gonna be? It's like saying back in the day, for people who don't remember, Ken Stabler. You're just gonna sling it. That's what you
Yeah.
do, and it may get you in trouble here and there. But that's asking you all of a sudden go back there and stand out and make good business decisions. You'd be like, no, the coach riding until he gets fired along with you. So
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield. So Mr. Fox, who you got in this game?
I'm gonna go ahead and go with Las Vegas. I'm betting on black this time.
There you go. Always bet on black. All right, Ox, who you got?
I got the Raiders. You know, that's the easy case. You know, Rams just down with the quarterback situation. So, right, I'm going with the Raiders all day long.
Yeah, I don't know. And we talked about the hangover effect, and being from Philly,
I
people
mean,
have
you look. Go ahead, Mike. Finish.
being from Philly, I have been accused of being not just a hater, but a doomsday expert. A lot of great dynasties won one in a row. They did. And I ain't gonna say it may be the case out there.
And it may be the case. You're right, because you talking about you got Matthew Stafford from Detroit, and then you got Baker Mayfield from Cleveland. So you got, you're trying to figure out which one of these former starters is gonna be your backup now, and both of them, Raiders. I'm picking Raiders.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You cornered the market on the commercial quarterbacks because you got two of the best recently. I mean, if that's what you're going for, Sean McVay, you got him. All right. So Ox, who you got next, man?
The Jets.
They're not giving Baker the keys to SoFi.
No, they're not.
You just a guest.
Right.
He got a parking tag. He got a parking thing to put in his
that's what he
review
get.
when he
That's
pull up.
what he get right there.
Yeah, that's what he getting right now.
Free parking. Oh gosh. All right. The Jets and the Bills. The Jets at the Bills. Jets getting 9.5.
They need it.
Yeah. It's in New York. The Bills are playing good. Defense is starting to get themselves back on their wagon. But White, he played good last week. And he played good the previous week. Can he go 3 in a row? Even though he lost last week.
Well, if again it goes down to managing the game. Let the coach call plays that can keep him in the game, help him get started early in the game,
Mm-hmm.
where he gets in the rhythm early, and then also get him some help early. Okay.
Yeah.
Short throws, establish the running game, and hope the defense, holds on. Get a couple first downs out there while you're out there. Keep defense on the sideline to rest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keep their offense on the sideline and get you a couple first downs to keep your defense rested. So when you do, you can't do a lot of 3 and outs with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because it's a wrap after that.
Yeah. Yes, definitely, because they go run the ball and they go score in there. And if once they get ahead, they go start running. Mm-hmm.
They got 2 to 3 running backs on the field at all times with Buffalo on the field. The 1 or 2 they got in the backfield, and then the quarterback
who runs.
Runs.
Yes, he runs, and he
runs.
He's not down with the sliding action.
No.
He gonna get the extra.
No, he ducking shoulders and running over top of DBs. He big boy in DBs.
Yeah, he is. And they look up, and as you say, Mr. Fox, I got kids. I got to make sure, and I don't want to be on Sports Center because I got tattooed by Josh Allen, and he's standing over here laughing.
Hey man,
that's the problem.
And he just stiffed arm a couple DBs looking like Derrick Henry too. Like
yeah. So,
toss him.
All right. So Ox, he then throw him off to the side. and then drop the ball with the first down move.
To the
Like,
side.
there you go. All right, Ox, so you're going with the Bills, I would guess. What?
I'm going with the Jets because at home last week they were close. I'm going with the Jets because I'm a Jets fan. Y'all didn't know that, but I am a Jets fan.
Yeah, you need to keep that to yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Jets, Jets. Spoken like an Eagles fan. What am I out there saying?
Well, I'm going with the Bills on this one, just because of how well they played last week, and if they keep that momentum going, it's going to it's going to be a long evening for them. It's going to be a long evening for the Jets, based on past performances and the teams hitting their groove right now. Right now, you win in December, you usually play in January, so hey.
There you go. All right, Ox, what you got next?
Browns and the Bengals. Last time the Browns put it on the Bengals.
That ain't happening.
Even with Deshaun Watson back, he didn't do nothing last week. That defense did everything for the Browns last week.
Yeah, the defense scored 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many points did they score total? Like 24?
Yeah. Yep.
It was on. They only scored like 20.
Yeah.
24 points,
I think, yeah. And at home, I see Burrows making an example of that last time he go say, hey, and he got both of his Higgins and Chase. Chase is healthy now. Yeah, he gonna make an example of them this week.
That may turn into a track meet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chase showed he was back last week, that he didn't have any remnants of any injury last week with some of the catches that he made.
Yeah. So, and then at the end to get that first down.
He put on the clinic last week.
Yep.
And so one of the things is now, being I'm not a professional playing the game, but it seems like that receiving core is up there with some of the ones that I remember, whether it's, Smurf and those guys from Washington or, whether it is the Greatest Show on Turf. They got some
potential.
They got some heavy hitters there.
And they're young.
They're young. They have potential, but again, potential gets you fired because you can show you can show it, remnants of it. That has to be a consistency with that. I agree with everything you said, Mike. I agree with everything that you said. They have enough talent to be ranked up there, but they haven't done enough to put them up there. So you can see it happening, but what they did last week will be forgotten if they drop the next 1 or 2 games.
That is true. So you said potential gets you fired. It's kind of like the process with the guy with the Sixers. I got the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He ain't there no more.
No.
We ain't got the appetite for the process because that takes time. All righty, Ken Ox and Don. You're listening to NFL Talks. Ken Ox and not Ox and Fox on Mike King Biz Radio. What you got?
Oh, next time we got this ain't no game, man. The Texans.
He didn't laugh.
The Texans Cowboys. Texans and got
the Texans and who? The Battle of Texas?
Yep.
Battle of Texas.
And they give him 27 points or something?
Yeah, 16 and a half. Yeah, basically.
16 and a half. They need to double that. 32, 33.
Yeah. Yeah, this could be Thanksgiving dinner late.
As much as I want to go with you guys, my heart says, man, I am a Houston Texans fan today. Yes, being an Eagles fan, yes, I am.
Okay, what's wrong with going for the upset, picking the upset? You know what? If you bet on that, that's just like if the Texans win, since you picking the Texans, I'm gonna play the lottery. Hopefully I can hit that 320 million.
All right.
If the Texans win, I can hit that 320.
And so I would say if you hit that 320, you probably won't be at George Witt the next day.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come to George Witt the next day to pick up my stuff. Pick up my stuff and tell everybody, hey,
good luck.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. No, I probably stay a little bit longer to make sure my kids are straight, man. I wouldn't abandon my kids.
You just know you're sitting on 320.
I do. Yeah, I know I'm sitting on it. They don't need to know that. I know I'm sitting on it. You know, it'll be about 180 or 170 after taxes because I want it all up front. You ain't paying me over 20 years. I want all mine up front. But I'll come back here and take care of my kids here, you know, make sure they straight, make sure the program's running like they supposed to, because I would not abandon it. You know, I would not abandon my kids. I would feel bad for the kids.
Lottery winner, Deion Fox, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what's the next show?
And the Lions. And look, the Lions getting 2.5. So the Lions, because the Lions are playing people close against the Vikings. So the Lions only getting 2.5. I mean, the Lions are getting 2.5 against the Vikings. So
2 dome teams.
Yep. 2 dome teams.
There's no advantage for either team other than maybe hearing the home crowd. But so who who you picking, kid?
I'm picking the Vikings in this one.
Yeah, I mean, because look, Vikings got a quiet, 10, 11 wins?
Oh, yeah, 10-2.
They got a quiet 10, baby.
That is
and
a quiet.
And look, and they're gonna get a quiet 11 this weekend.
So
don't get me wrong. Detroit's gonna play them tough.
That's what I'm saying. So you guys are not buying the fight with the Lions.
But that's the thing, Mike. You said the culture, and now last week they put up 44 points.
It seemed to be changing.
So something, but they still lose. You know, so
you give up 44, you put up 44 and give up 45. It doesn't really you know. And one thing Kirk Cousins can do, he can find a way to score, man. He's the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it's been 12 games. He's 10-2.
Yeah.
About a half of those games, he's had comeback victories in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And he got to be the most disrespected quarterback. People just look for reasons. And he just put up W's.
And so and has one of the best records in the league right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Ken Oxen now. What you got? Who's the next game, my man?
We got the Jags and the Titans. This is now, Deion. Now you've heard the whole thing of people losing because emotionally. Is this a game where the Titans lose this game against the Jags?
I thought the Titans should have won last week.
Loss.
Yeah, I thought they should have won last week, and I hope they get off that hump that they in from losing last week, because they looked horrible. Like it's just maybe they look past them. They just didn't play well as a whole unit. They didn't play well as a whole unit, and hopefully they can get out of that, because if they trying to do anything, they need to run the tables. These last few weeks.
Yeah, because Big Boy only had 30 yards.
Jaguars. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's like their record is like 1 in forever. When he don't rush for 100 yards.
Yeah.
Does that put a lot of pressure on him, when a person knowing that if I don't get 100, for the most part, we're gonna lose?
Yeah.
And then
it's a balanced attack, because what happens is this. Usually it's 2 reasons why you don't have a lot of yards rushing. One, they keyed on you and they went away from the run and they put up points that caused you to pass. Or 2, you on a team that majority passes. Okay? Tennessee is not a team that passes the ball a lot. You're supposed to run to set up the pass. Okay? Back when I played with the Dolphins with Dan, we had some decent rushing seasons, but we used to pass to set up the run. Because we were a passing team. We knew who we had. We had Dan Marino.
Were you there with the Marx brothers?
No, I came after them. I was there with Urban Fryer when Keith Jackson came over and left Philly and came over.
Oh, so you had a couple of the Philly guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had Urban. I had Keith. I had OJ McDuffie. I had
Oh, so you had the Penn Stater too.
yeah, man, we had some guys. I had Mark Ingram from New York.
Oh,
Mm,
Yeah,
that,
we had some guys.
that is hard.
We had some guys. And look, and check this out. And from Steelers Nation, we had Big Eric Green. I played against him in college. He came over, left Pittsburgh, and came to us.
one of the things
Man.
that as a fan you hear and you talk about Dan Marino, like to get there for the first year and never to get back again. He kind of has that whole Charles Barkley thing, which is, you never won, but you filled it up. And when they talk about the passers, but you go down as a guy who never won. And I tell people that's the problem with team sports. You don't look over at Venus and Serena and say, well, you never won. And they're saying, well, I didn't have the horses with me. Whether they won or not was because they won. When you put, sometimes like coaches, when the coaches got the horses, he wins. And when you don't, you stand there and look like Dion said. What do you say? You get elevated or terminated?
Yeah.
That, yes. All right. So, Ox, what you got next?
We got your boys, the Eagles and the Giants.
I'm kind of worried because anytime we play a game that means something against them or the Cowboys, well, you saw we did with Washington.
Shut up, man.
Exactly.
That's Hurt threw for 400 yards last week.
I know. Who would have told you that we would have lost to Washington?
Yeah, look. Yeah, I know. But right now,
I know.
But it's almost so right now, it seems like the light bulb has come on for the team that look, if you take away this from me, and for him, if you take away this from me, I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
If you take away this from me, we're gonna do this. So if they keep this up and if it's oh goodness.
All right, so Mr. Fox, Ken Ottendine walked me back from the ledge. I'm taking my Eagles. And I'm saying it with bass in my voice.
Hey, I'm on the ledge with
your chest.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Until Sunday, and then all of a sudden, I go right back to being. Lord, as soon as something don't go our way, you know what happened.
Well, the other thing is that with your Eagles, man, Devontae was getting a little upset because they had the other boy that they brought in that's getting all the balls down. Yeah. He, it was something that was said about it. But it's a team sport, man. You got to look at it like this. If they doubling you, he's gonna go to what's open. I think Jalen is starting to learn to take what the defense gives him. Which is what I talked about every time I spoke about Heineke. He kept trying to go to McLaurin all the time and was forcing stuff and having, turnovers that weren't really something that was he wasn't under pressure. He just decided he want to force it in there. I think I can get it in there. And no. You're
not gonna get it in there.
Not gonna get it in there. So you got to take what they give you. And Jalen is learning that. Like the same thing with Mahomes. If you think about him, they're always talking about him throwing to 5 or 6 different receivers. He's taking what the defense gives him. In this game, that's what it's going to have to be about because you know who they're going to double. Devontae on one side, and your boy that came over on the other side. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. AJ Brown on the other side. And so if they double him, then okay, you got backs out the backfield, and you got a good tight end too. So you're all right there. He has some targets. Not to mention, he's also a runner.
Yes. Really quickly,
with a 400+ pound squat, so he's got the leg drive to do what he needs to do if needed.
One of the things, all right. So we're going to touch on the Michael Vick with the quarterback, the documentaries that's gonna be interesting, really. So check that out. All right, you're listening to NFL Talks. Mike King Biz Radio here with Ox and Fox talking. These guys are insiders out there. Ken Ottendine, how can people find you?
Find me at kenoxendine@gmail.com, Fox Sports Group @gmail.com, SG Fox SG on Instagram, and Ken.oxendine@NFLalumni.com.
All right, Mr. Fox.
You can find me at 5756foundation@gmail.com, 5756foundation.org, Dion.fox@NFLalumni.org, and 5756 Foundation on Instagram, as well as on Facebook. So hit me up.
Google
Interested
him,
in
man.
doing
That's what
something?
you do. Just Google the man. He out there. There you go. That's what happens. All right, Mr. Ken Oxendine, what's next?
We got the Ravens at Pittsburgh. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson's out, but and like we talked about that earlier with that decision that they had to make with him being out. So those, that's the biggest thing that they got. The defense got to help.
All right. So now we're gonna go to football's on the side. This is the business side of it. Really quickly, the Yankees signed Aaron Judge. They gave him the money, $360 million. People always say Baltimore is not a place that pays you. So all of a sudden, Lamar Jackson plays the year. He gets dinged. What is this, week 12? That's what he got dinged at?
Yeah.
It makes you kind of question when you had organizations saying, we're going to be tight, even as much as Jerry Jones, all of the foolery and foolishness that goes on with him, he pays people. Now, you got Lamar Jackson here getting dinged, and all of a sudden, his money's on the line. Let's talk about what happens when you with an organization that sometimes can be on the cheap side, and what does that do for players?
Because
they start shopping the market.
Yeah. Who was it? Well, I remember a couple years ago, several years ago, up in Green Bay, the wide receiver that he was holding out, and then he came back. He said, "Well, shoot, Brett Favre told him you need to come on back and play." And then first game when he blew his knee out, and never saw any of that money they would have gotten otherwise. So, like you said, it's a business decision with that, and and that's the one thing with the NFL is trying to figure out, these owners and these GMs, you could pay these guys that's making money for your franchise.
I thought that it was a thing that players and commentators don't talk about the other guy's money, or in a situation where, like you said, Brett Favre, don't ask me to come back to save the team because my money's on the table and you got yours already. And in the end, I don't get my money and you ain't giving me some of yours.
So, and it is that unwritten rule that most people that don't, they stay out. That was the first time I that was one of the things I was like, man, that's, that was kind of crazy when he came out and said, hey, you need to come back and play, or whatever the case. I was like, wow, that's a little different. So, because you get yours, let me get mine.
Yeah, that's true. Because there's only so much to go around. I need to get mine. All right, Mr. Oxendine, what's next?
Got the Chiefs and the Broncos. The Broncos are getting 9.5.
They might need 19 and a half.
What are they playing?
They're at in Denver.
The only thing that may slow down the Chiefs is that high altitude. So instead of them putting up 50, they may only put up 40.
Okay, let's go with the whole world. And Mr. Fox, we talk about not having pieces. Russell Wilson did not forget how to play quarterback when he went to Denver. Denver might have been expecting something else, but he's, okay, it's a bad year. He doesn't, I got used to walking in, being the man in Seattle. It's a whole nother ball game here. He did not forget. What is it going to take for him to, is it just riding this year out and as soon as the season over, him and they stay in Denver and, go to every charity event? Or maybe I need to get away for a break, but what's it going to take for him to turn it around? going forward?
He's going to need to do a couple of things. Definitely stay with it, drive. Uh, you're on four flats right now, so you got to make it to your destination regardless. So you're going to have to push through, persevere through the whole thing, keep doing things to encourage your teammates, especially your O-line and your offense. Keep encouraging the defense. Continue to be the leader. You go in the tank, it's going to get worse. One thing I can say, he is a very enthusiastic young man. He has a lot of faith, with what can happen, and he's trying to move him with faith. I think right now there are a few trust issues that are going on both sides. I don't get that everybody trusts everybody on the field. Okay, trust what they're going to do, trust how they're going to play, trust they're going to perform at 100% each time they go out there. Or, it's still new to everybody. All the hype that. Go ahead,
Dion, and you talked about this earlier. Those pieces, he doesn't. When you look at his core wide receivers, there's three rookies, and everyone else got the most time is 3 years. So from a standpoint of who's doing what for him, he got all young guys, even down to your tight ends. Your tight ends, Eric Saubert is the oldest tight end with 5 years. You got a rookie and then a 4-year guy with Beck and then Albert Aquabama. So he, like you said earlier, Manning came, he had pieces. He's here. They wanted him to come in here to be the savior, and they don't have the artillery.
And they gave him a ton of money. So, Mr. Fox, as you said, he's rolling on 4 flats. You don't get 4 flats by accident. No, you got one. You got hey, you got a flat. But when you roll out there and you see you sitting on 4 flats,
there's no need to go into the car and pull the donut out. There's no need to pull it out. Just go ahead, bring your rims, get to your destination, and just ride it out. At this point, you just got to go a little bit slower, ride it out. Think positive. Hopefully they will make some changes for you for the following year without you being one of the changes that they make. They invested they invested way too much money in you right now, so we don't know how much. I don't know the structure of his contract.
They're not messing with him. Ken Oxendine, is the coach going to be back? Yes or no?
I think it depends on what Russell Wilson. Yeah, I think it's if Russell doesn't like him, I think that because that's going to be the scapegoat. The coach is going to be the scapegoat.
Okay. Yes, he is.
On either way, and either they will give him another year to let Russell work it out, or they're going to say, "Hey, let's go find someone that can help, do whatever they do some type of magic."
How many years has coach been in Denver?
1. This is it. The first year.
Yeah,
this is first year.
I think so. I thought he can. No.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not.
This is first year?
Because I thought people were saying he was going to be one and done, and we ain't talking about Louisville either.
Yeah.
No.
So it's going to be rough. I mean, you got to look. I mean, and Elway is still in the front office, right?
Yeah.
And he remember what he did.
And he tough because that. I mean, you look like this. Tebow was there,
and he won a game.
And went to the playoffs and won, and Elway still got rid of him just because.
Yeah.
And you know what? Straight up, I love me some Tim Tebow. I don't care what people say. I do. I think he can win. I don't care about all of the other stuff that goes on. Give me Tim Tebow. He can win a game for you.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. And Elway still said,
"Bye bye." He gave him deuces. All right, Ox, who you got next?
We got the Bucks at the 49ers.
We ain't even talking about that right there. The old man came back and he showed what TB12 was. For all of the haters who are out there saying the man was done, you gave him 3 minutes, and like they say in New York, 10-10, give me give me 30 minutes, I'll give you the world. He gave it to him.
Well, San Francisco, Garoppolo's out.
Yes, he is.
Broken ankle. The Mr. Irrelevant is the starter.
Okay.
But San Francisco's D is playing with their brains going, like their brains is on steroids right now.
Yes.
So
Hey, that rookie quarterback came in and did work too after Garoppolo got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just go out there and hand the ball off.
Yeah. Now, this is the question, D. Because, and being a defense, is it that tough for a defense to when a new quarterback come in like that and play if there's no film on him?
It is, because all you have is what, 2.5 quarters of what he did in that game.
Yeah.
And then you're basically looking at you're studying formations and tendencies of what the offense does as a whole, not what the quarterback does.
Yeah.
So now, you have very little film on that. So basically now you're just looking at down the distance of tendencies and formations of what they may run, what they might try to run, what play they might run or whatever. You know what everybody else does. They're still going to incorporate everybody else. They're going to make sure they get McCaffrey and Samuels into it to make sure they still helping them out. Those two weapons right there.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. I think they're going to let him. It's another situation where they're going to do enough to get him comfortable, to keep him comfortable. And then once he gets going, if he gets going like he did last week, it's going to be a long day for Tampa Bay.
And what it seemed like was that and that's the crazy thing with new guys. They don't have no favorites.
No, they don't.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. When he comes in, he doesn't know anybody. Real quickly, did you
Whoever
guys
open is who I'm gonna throw the ball to.
I have no allegiance to anybody. I didn't go to college with that guy or last year, anything. Alrighty, really quickly. So Ken Oxendine, what we got next?
We got the Panthers and the Seahawks. Seahawks been playing solid.
Yes, they are.
And so I understand. And Carolina's over there. So,
where are they, Ken?
Over there.
Yeah.
They over
left coast.
They out there somewhere. Wherever they at, they're gonna take an L and bring it back with them. That's for sure. But you know what, Mr. Fox? What you say? That's why we got to play the game.
Yeah, it is.
It's exactly why you got to play the game.
You never know. It's not like a basketball bounce the same way every time. A football, all it take is a tip. All it take is a bounce.
All day long.
And you riding back across the country with an L because
you head like this.
Exactly. Trying to explain. You thought you was gonna be off, but now all of a sudden you got to go in there and start explaining. Now, what's the next game, man?
Next game is the Dolphins and the Chargers. There you go, Dion.
There you go,
baby. They coming back.
It's at the Chargers.
Pens. So, I got a bone to pick with the Chargers. They knocked us out the playoffs when I was there. So, it's just.
Come on, man. Hey. Let it go. Let it go, man.
Like some things I can't let go.
Like the Frozen song. Ox, tell them about the Frozen song. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
I know you know the words.
He does.
Yeah. 100 days to the year 360.
I'm cultured, man. I'm from Philly. You
got a grandbaby that looked at Frozen.
Exactly. I was the last dude in the world to see Black Panther. I seen it 2 years after it came out. I'm like, oh, so this is what all I was about. Okay, so that's it. All right, Ken Oxen now. What's the game? What we got next?
Last night, it's the Monday night game. The Pats and the Cardinals. The Cardinals, if they can get themselves, they can right this ship. They can go 8-8 and go 500.
What are they playing?
It's out there in Arizona.
I think the Cardinals got a good shot.
The Cardinals, yeah. I think people are always trying to fire Cliff Kingsbury. You ever notice that? On a regular, they're just trying to get rid of him. I mean,
Because he seems, because I was, when I was in NFL Europe, he was one of our quarterbacks. He was behind and and he has like a cocky swagger.
yes, he does. Yeah,
That's,
he kind of got it like that.
yeah, and he just carries himself like that. And so, but he's not necessarily that type of person, but he's a quarterback. So that's what quarterbacks, that's how, if you look at them, most quarterbacks, they have that, like, I'm that dude.
Because
And,
from the time you were the guy you're the quarterback, like you're a pitcher, you were the quarterback of the team. You carry yourself that certain way. You do what you do. And so what it turns into is when you get there, you look at Brady, he's going down there talking to people. You don't want the quarterback sitting on the side. That's why, I be feeling for my man Jacoby Brissett. All he do is win. And they get sitting right back to the bench.
Yes.
Until he goes to the next place, and then he has to win for them, and he gets sent back to the bench.
Yeah.
At some point, it has to be hard for him.
Well, as long as my whole thing is that if you on a team and you collecting that check,
get the check.
Yep. And so, and I think what happens is individuals, when they get to the point where they got enough money and they not wearing, that's when they like, I want to be a starter. I ain't come here to sit. I came here to play. And
Right.
so I think, but for those guys that never got that huge payday, that lottery type money, hey, this, spend 20 years holding a clipboard.
As I said, it pains me to say that the Dallas, it's kind of scary. The other one is Taylor Heineke. Being the Nick Foles guy, he finds a way to win.
Yeah.
He gives them an option, an opportunity to win week after week. And that's all you could ask, because like you said, Baker didn't wore out his welcome in the coach. What is it? Has it been 4 years? Maybe? But now he's walking into the, out there in California with a parking pass.
Yeah.
Because he don't have. So, Ox, is that the last game?
Yeah, that was the last game.
All right. So here, we got to touch on the Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Ken Oxendine, thoughts?
Well, the bigger part with everything is that a lot of people, first, he's a coach. He's a coach. And now that a lot of that other stuff is coming out with possible misappropriation of funds, you see why, he may as well shoot. I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to do what I want to do here because everybody's not doing what they're supposed to do. So, and that's the only thing. But in the same concept, he's a coach. You think about when he first was attempted to get an opportunity, he didn't get an opportunity. So he started in high school, and then he went somewhere where he could get a job, and now he's he's just climbing that ladder, just like he did as an athlete. And so I think his ultimate goal now is to to get to the pros and be a pro head coach and say, look, this is where I should have been. You should have let me have the opportunity.
So you don't believe him when he says, I don't want to go coaching the pros because I can't tell grown men and they'll listen because they make a lot more money than me. You aren't buying that one?
No, not after the road that he's going.
How about if Alabama calls and we're doing them Aflac commercials? No?
Well, now the contract that he has with Colorado apparently is not to let him do that.
Okay.
If he leaves in the first 3 years, he gets like, or the first 2 years, every year it's like he gets a 0.25% taken off.
Alrighty.
So, like in the last 2 years, it's 25%. And even if they fire him, they only have to pay him, I think, like less, like either 50% of the contract.
Because you know what happens? They fire him. He'll be a game day, and I won't be seeing Desmond Howard anymore.
Right. Right.
That's what it comes down to. All right, Mr. Fox, your thoughts on Coach Prime?
Mixed emotions, but I understand, he spoke eloquently when he talked about how I'm here to make sure I help all these young men and I do this and I do that, which yes, I believe that. Okay. Also saw a spot where he was talking to his team at Jackson State, saying, I know all of y'all trying to jump in the transfer portal. He said, y'all need to sit down and talk with me first before you do that, because you need to make sure that you're making the best decision for yourself, trying to go somewhere else and not put yourself in a position where you don't have there what you have here. 300,000 to 5 million.
That's a long way.
Yes. That's a lot of money. You got mouths to feed. You still taking care of your kids, even though they're adults. You still doing stuff to take care of them.
Yeah.
You still doing for them. You still got bills to pay.
And you got ex-wife.
I was a little salty. Yeah, well, I was a little salty too at first. Well, I'm not gonna say real, but my initial reaction was, I went through the I am swag. I'm not swag. I'm not this. I'm not that. All this notoriety, and then
you do.
And I didn't know all of the details behind it. I can't fault a man for having high aspirations of what he wants to do. I can't fault a man for going to a PWI to coach because they can compensate him to the extent that they're going to compensate him that an HBCU cannot. Will he still be able to bring in good talent that are players of color? Yes. But it's still not the same. The notoriety that he's bringing to a HBCU was a whole lot different than what he's going to bring to Colorado. Colorado was known back in the day as one of the better programs. He's trying to bring it back. All the stuff that they have all the bells and whistles because they have that type of money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, doesn't matter if anyone likes his decision. You have to respect his decision and what he's going to do. And I wish the man the best of luck at what he's doing.
There you go. So this is on the Mike King. This is NFL Talks. My views there are Jackson State is better when he left than when he got there. Relationships, you're going to have to parlay that into, relationships are already set. The people he brought on the campus. I can understand people being upset, but in the end, like they run down the amount of money that alumni or people give back to, HBCUs. The number is not strong, and everybody wants to mess with you about you and your money, saying they wouldn't. And I bring it down to a person. You work here. You work at Target, and you make 50 grand, and somebody says we'll switch you over to Walmart, and you're gonna make 500,000. How many people are gonna say no?
Exactly.
And it stopped.
I'll go take that. I'll go over there and do that now.
Right.
I mean, you talking about? I mean,
you're talking game-changing
I know exactly what you mean, though. I know exactly what you mean.
But people will tell you should stick and stay because of this culture. You came here to make the change, but they're talking about your money as opposed to their opportunity. I ain't saying they all would take it, but for the most part, people are going to go with opportunities. And he was not lying when he said, you get terminated or elevated, because if he went there and he won 2 games, they would not be talking about, we got to keep Coach Prime.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yo, get him out of here. He didn't have experience. He never coached anywhere. He didn't pay his dues. It comes down to that. All right, gentlemen, it is NFL Talks. another week in the books. Really quickly, Ken, how can we find you?
KenOxnine@gmail.com, BoxSG on Instagram, BoxSportsGroup.com, Ken.Oxendine@NFLalumni.com.
There you go, Mr. Fox.
Mr. Fox57@gmail.com, 5756 Foundation@gmail.com, 5756foundation.org, at 5756 Foundation on Instagram, and Dion.Fox@NFLalumni.org.
Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. This is a big day. So for all our crew who come and hear women speaking sports, Brittany Griner, BG, was set free. So so for all of the women over women speaking sports, that was something they did, the BG update every week. We like to thank them for keeping it, you know, on the forefront of the conversation. So, you know, it's always good to have an impact and you know, keep the word. That's what we do with this media thing. We use the power of it. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. We'll catch you next week. I'm gonna pull out the Russell Wilson, go Eagles. But maybe he would, like they tell Russ, stop with and get down to throwing passes and touchdowns and stop with that. All right, gents, take care. Have a good one.
There it is, dude.
Later.
All right, have a good one, guys.